Very well, how are you?
All participants.
No, sorry.
On the top right.
Oh,
Hello, Gary. Is that Shelley?
Really?
Shell.
Great.
Yeah, I still got that smile. Look at you. You haven't changed.
Wow.
Good to see everyone.
It's just amazing to see
Yeah.
everyone.
Okay.
And it's amazing. We all look the same, right?
No, I don't recognize
A little bit
anybody.
blonder, maybe.
Yeah.
Of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've all changed. I don't recognize anybody.
Do you
Very.
think we recognize you, Barry?
Oh, okay. I think
I
I
wouldn't
How's it, Bear? Hey,
recognize
boy.
him because he hasn't got the same color hair.
Who,
At
me?
least he has
The
some
same
hair.
mischievous
That's
face,
true.
though.
No
That's
one's
true.
got the same color hair.
I hardly recognize myself.
That's true.
3 or 4 people at the maximum. I never have such a collection. The whole screen of yeah, that's it.
There's another Mrs. Daron Grossman with the photos behind. Do you want to change your name?
Shelley's in her name already, so that's good. Michelle's in hers. Here's one. Who's this? Michelle Barnett.
Is that
Michelle
Alan
Gordon.
with Bernard?
You're being shown as
It's
Daron
Alan and
Grossman
Bernard.
rather as
How's
Mich-
it, Alan and Bernard?
Is this Michelle
Michelle
Grossman?
Gordon. No,
No,
Michelle
it's
Gordon.
Michelle Katz.
No. Michelle Gordon is being shown as Daron Grossman.
Okay, I've just changed it. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
We
Who's
still
Michelle
friends
Gordon?
after,
Where
are
is
we even still
Michelle?
sitting
Oh,
together
there's
on Zoom?
Michelle Gordon.
Where?
I don't see.
There.
That's-
True.
yeah.
Ah, here you are.
Michelle Gordon wave.
So, Gila, what's the program here this evening, morning, afternoon?
Okay, so at 1:15 we'll start. Everybody will get 2 to 3 minutes to say hello, where you are, children, grandchildren, whatever you feel like saying, as long as it's not politics within the 3 minutes. Then I have made a little presentation I'd like to show. Then I'm going to introduce you to Raylene Trodonsky, who's going to say hello. She has 2 minutes, and then I stop her. And then we carry on listening to people's stories. And Jeffrey and Barbara are here as well. So
And
straight
Michael
after
Pincus
Raylene,
is also on. Please
Yeah, I see
acknowledge
Michael
yeah,
Pincus.
Michael.
After Barbara and Jeffrey speak, we'll carry on. Please don't. I'm going to ask everyone to mute themselves when they start. Please don't unmute because then you're interrupting the person and we can't hear them. So in the meantime, you can carry on chatting for another 6 minutes.
Okay, can I just make a comment? I posted yesterday on the WhatsApp groups that we are now confirmed for the physical in-person reunion to take place in Franschhoek. Thank you, Minky and Shira, for the amazing work that you've been doing. The event starts on Sunday, March 15th and ends on Tuesday, March 17th. Bookings will start around August 31st. Michelle Barnett and Gordon is doing amazing work also. This is for a combined Linksfield and Victory Park reunion, but Michelle Barnett is doing all the work around the programming and the food and all of that. And I will also just draw to people's attention something that I learned last night for the first time, that if all of us require a South African passport to get in and out of South Africa, it's not a problem for a first visit, but the Constitutional Court ruled about a month ago or so that if you hold a foreign passport, you really need to have a South African passport in your hands when you enter and exit the country. I had previously applied for a South African passport and was denied a renewal because I obviously have an American passport, but that ruling has now changed. And if you want any information about it, just send me a private message and I'll send you an email that I got last night about this from Warren Shapiro at King David Linksfield.
Why do you need a passport?
Why do we need their passport?
Because for a long time, South Africa permitted us to have dual passports.
Yeah.
If you allowed your South African passport to lapse and you applied for a new one in the last 5 or 7 years, they denied that to you because you had dual citizenship. The Constitutional Court in South Africa ruled, as I say, about a month ago, that that's unconstitutional. You are allowed to have dual citizenships, and as a result of that, the South African Constitution obligates South African-born people to enter and exit the country on a South African passport.
That's fine.
So hang on, Dawn. So we have to apply for a, I'm sorry to
It's
bore
not, I won't
everybody
touch it.
else. We have to apply for a South African passport. How
Yeah,
long
you
will
have
it
to.
take?
You have to.
It
I don't know, but you,
It takes a long time.
but you can
I
enter.
got one in
It's
Toronto.
trickling.
And
Doesn't
how
You
long
can
matter.
did
enter and
it,
exit the
Judy?
country
Probably about
once
a
or
year.
twice. You can still enter and exit the country once or twice on your Australian, Israeli, Canadian, American passports, but they're going to tell you next time you need a South African passport.
They also need they also give you a letter that says you're entitled to dual citizenship. And it was just a very difficult process. I had to reapply for my South African birth certificate, for my identity document. They had to issue like all of your South African ID in duplicate before they issued the passport. So it's complicated. I'll message you, Judy.
The alternative is to renounce your South African citizenship and you travel on wherever you passport or where you're now living.
Well, you guys have got it all wrong. It's not a passport, it's a passport. That's why you can't get in.
Ah.
Yeah, I was
Well
thinking the
done,
same.
Alan.
And just for those of us in Israel, there's no South African embassy or consul over here, so it makes it a lot more difficult.
I spoke to a South African who's an immigration lawyer last night here in the United States, and what he said is for the first time or the second time that you go in on your foreign passport, it's not going to be a problem. But thereafter, they're going to make it an issue. So we all have that flexibility in the next 8 months to go in and out once or twice. But thereafter, you have to get a South African passport if you want to travel to South Africa.
You know if that
So we have
applies to
6 minutes to talk and we're talking about passports.
Yes, I know, but this is important.
This is actually quite important. I'm going to. I'm
Thank
supposed to
God the
stay in
reunion
September.
is in March. Otherwise, some of you won't get back in.
But we
Ron,
won't
if you
get it by
come
March.
on an
There's no-
international passport, do you need a visa?
No.
You
No,
don't
but-
need a visa, and you don't need a South African passport to get to the reunion,
Okay.
unless you've traveled to South Africa multiple times between now and then.
But how would they know if we're holding just an Israeli passport? They wouldn't know. They wouldn't be able to link it to our old South African passport.
Because when you apply for a South African passport, this happened to me. They ask you, do you have another passport? And I said, yes, American. And they said, we're not giving you another South African passport. You're not entitled to a South African passport. But that law changed a month ago.
My question, Laurent, is why do we need to apply? I'm traveling on an Israeli passport. I've been in and out. I went to Poland.
Jeff, the
So
passport
why when I'm
shows your
going back
country
now
of
to
birth.
see this or to visit my kids, why do I need to say I want a South African passport? I have an Israeli passport.
Jeffrey, the passport shows your country of birth.
Yes.
And then the immigration officer says to you, you were born in South Africa, why don't you have a South African passport?
Because I've
I've had
immigrated.
that happen when I've tried to enter on a Canadian passport.
So what's the answer when they say
Yeah.
you were born in South Africa? You put your hands up and say I surrender?
You say,
Well,
I'm in
they-
the process of applying for a new South African passport, and it's delayed, and that's why I'm using my American
So
passport or
if-
Israeli
if-
passport.
If that's the
Okay,
case, take the
thank you.
receipt that they'll give you. When you apply for the passport, they give you a receipt. So if you don't actually have the passport, show them the receipt.
Okay, if
And-
I don't apply for a passport,
It's okay also, Barry, if you haven't been to South Africa for the last 3 months and you're not going to go in the next 8 months except for the reunion, that's not a problem.
so will they ask me why don't I have a South African
Yeah.
passport?
They're going to ask me the same thing, and I'm going to say I'm in the process of applying for one. And
Okay,
as soon as I
but-
get one, I'll use it.
I'm not in the process of applying for one,
Really?
so what do I say?
I don't think that's an issue.
You act stupid
That's
and
it.
you didn't know there was a new law.
I just say I don't know.
Okay,
My son-in-laws and the
Say to them, ek
furniture.
verstaan nie. Ek
Yeah,
verstaan
ek
nie. Wat wil jy hê,
Mm.
Sorry,
Okay,
not-
we're missing 6 people, but I think that we should start and they'll join when they join. Okay. So my name is Skilla. I work for the King David Schools Foundation. When you matriculated, no, I was not born yet. I went to Sasolburg High School. I come from a little dorpy called Parys. Me, please don't speak about religion, politics, and I reckon we kick off with your 3 minutes and let's go. Daron, would you like to say hello? Tell us where you are, what you do, where you're at, blah, blah.
I'm Daron Grossman. I've lived in the United States for 41 years. I'm married to an American, Karen. Many of you know her. We have a daughter who's 32, Shira. Shira and we are looking for a husband for her. If you know any nice Jewish men, please let me know. We live in New Jersey and in the western part of Massachusetts. And I am doing a variety of different things these days.
Daron, I have somebody to introduce her to. We'll speak afterwards.
I will be in touch with you.
Good. Jeffrey Sher, would you like to go next?
Afternoon, everybody. My wife and Alexandra, we immigrated to Israel 2.5 years ago. We live here in Netanya, North Netanya. It's an amazing city. Thank God it's a very safe city, part of Israel. We have 4 children, 1 in Canada with 2 grandchildren there, 1 daughter here with 3 grandchildren here, and 2 still in South Africa with 6 grandchildren in South Africa. So we spread all over the show. Our eldest granddaughter recently celebrated her bat mitzvah last month, and our youngest granddaughter is nearly a year. And God to thank and thank God, we have 11 grandchildren. We're blessed. We had 3 of them sleep over here on Thursday night, and it was an absolute pleasure to have them. They're coming again next Thursday because school is they're on vacation here. They go to camp during the week, but come and sleep with us on a Thursday night. It's good to see everybody. Long time.
You put on lipstick for them.
Bev, would you like to speak? Bev Jaffe?
Hi, everybody. I'm been in Melbourne for 39 years. I haven't seen most of you in 50 years. I've kept in contact with a few because I didn't go to university in Johannesburg. I went to Rhodes University and then left shortly after to first Sydney and then Melbourne. I have 3 beautiful children and 5 grandsons, and thank God they all live within 5 minutes drive of us. So we're very fortunate. We're very testosterone heavy. They're all sports crazy, and they've got a grandfather who encourages it 100%. And we're all a bit, we're all a bit concerned about what's happening in Melbourne, but we thank God so far we're all safe. Visited Israel recently, which was amazing. And I traveled to South Africa and had no problems with my passport. So this is all new to me. I was there in April and didn't have any issues. And unfortunately, my mom's not well, so I may be going there and back in the next few months. But it's lovely to see all of you.
Thank you, Bev. Bernard Tanner and Alan Back. Would the 2 of you like to say hello?
You want to talk, huh?
Alan Back. I've been married for 45 years to Lauren Milstein. I've got two kids and 4 grandchildren. And I'm still friends with him. We still go to gym 3-4 times a week together. We walk, and life is great.
I've been married now. It's just over 40 years. She was Anne Meyerson. We've got 2 children, a boy and a girl, and they've each got 2 children, a boy and a girl. So I've got 4 grandchildren. We all live still in South Africa. In fact, my son and I work together. We're both practicing attorneys and doing different law, but working in the same practice. And yeah, so friendly with Alan and You know, I do keep up with some people. I keep up with Duron and certain others. And I was at the reunion 10 years ago, which we loved. And hopefully the reunion that's coming in Franschhoek will be as great a success as the one was in Jerusalem. Looking forward to seeing you all.
Bernard, Karen Deutsch, how are you?
I'm fine. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Can everybody please mute themselves?
Oi.
Okay, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Can you go again?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I left South Africa 54 years ago, so I've been in Israel for quite a long time. I recently moved from Yavne to Harish. Thank God, don't have many sirens here, not like you, Shira. I've got 3 kids and 6 grandchildren, and I'm planning on coming to South Africa over Sukkot. So Bernard and you guys, hopefully I'll see you then. I've never had a problem with the passport, and I've never been asked why I don't have a South African passport. So we'll see this time if I get through with no problem, because the chances of me getting a passport, I don't see any chances of it at all. And that's it. But hopefully I will manage to get to the reunion.
Lovely. Thank you. Barry Grinker, what's news?
Hello, everybody. It's been a long time. I left 50 years ago, so a little less than Karen, but I didn't finish high school in South Africa. I finished Form 4, and then I came to Israel, matriculated here, went to the Hebrew University and studied geology and earth sciences at the Hebrew University for 3 years. And then after a 4-month tour across the States, I came back to Israel, took out citizenship, and went into the military service. I'd always been interested in the ocean and the sea, possibly influenced by Zoo Lake or Emmarentia Dam, but maybe also because of our holidays to the coast. So I went into the Navy, and I did the Naval Officers course. And after 5 years doing the course and being at sea, during which time I met my wife-to-be, who was doing her service at the Navy Museum. I met her, and 3 months later I proposed to her, and 6 months later we were married. So that's 42 years ago almost. And then I continued in the Navy for another 20 years in the hydrographic office, which I headed for 8 years. I lecture today at the Technion in Haifa, where I live. I lecture in marine surveying, and I also do consulting for a survey company here in Haifa. And I have plenty of free time because I do both those jobs part-time. So I have plenty of free time to be with my wife. We have 2 kids, daughter 38, pregnant at the moment, expecting in 2 months' time, and a son who's a little younger than her, but got married just before her and has a 5-month-old son. Mostly I'm in contact with Doron and Gary Besson, of course, living here in Israel. And it's good to see all of you. And recently it was great catching up with people like Barry Lampert and Roy and Derek Fabian, of course, who were my good friends 50 years ago. Seems that things don't change.
That's amazing. I love that. If anybody needs to leave and I haven't asked you to call, before you need to leave, please either WhatsApp me or message me or something so we don't miss you.
I need to leave. Can I talk?
Yes, please, Gary.
Okay. I prepared something. I studied medicine at Wits. Yeah. Hi, everyone. I studied medicine at Wits. Then did 2 years as a doctor in the South African Army, got married in 1985, spent 3 months honeymoon as a ship's doctor, made Aliyah in 1986, and enjoy working as a family doctor in Israel. I also served as a doctor in the Israeli Army. I have 4 Israeli children, 3 boys and a girl, and have 3 grandsons and another one on the way, Bezrat Hashem, in 3 months' time. Nice. Thanks for organizing this Zoom. It's nice to see all old faces.
Old as in from years past or old as in age? Oops.
Good for you, Gila. Thank you.
Thanks, Gary. Michael Pincus, how you doing?
Good morning, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon. I'll give you a quick survey. I left King David Victory Park to become vice principal at Carmel in Pretoria. From there, I went to Herzliya Constantia, where I was principal. From there, I went to Bialik College, where I was also head of Bialik College in Melbourne. And from there, I came to the Bay Area in San Francisco. I lived in Berkeley, and I was head of a Jewish day school in Berkeley. And from there, I left that Jewish day school under difficult circumstances, and I ended up at an Anglican school, or Episcopal school, as they call them in the United States, and eventually rose to head of that school. And I retired about 8 years ago, and continued to live in the Bay Area. I lived in Oakland, and my younger daughter has moved to San Miguel de Allende in Mexico, and they have a big literary festival here in San Miguel, and she heads that literary festival. And I decided to move here to be with my grandchildren. I have 2 daughters, one in Oakland, California, one here. I have 5 grandchildren, 4 of them are grandsons. One is a granddaughter. The eldest is 23, and the youngest is 12. So it's been a journey, a peripatetic journey around the world. And so I hope that I live my last years out here in San Miguel, which is a beautiful city. And Mexico is a thriving country at the moment. People don't realize it. And I really enjoy the opportunity to live on 4 continents in my life.
That is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm going to ask Jonathan Lewis to speak because he's not going to be around too long. Jonathan, I cannot believe that I saw you about 10 years ago and you were double the size. I would never have recognized you.
Thank you, Gila. So I'll get to that shortly. So firstly, it's so great to see everyone looking so good. It's incredible. I have to say, I don't know if everyone saw the message from Barbara Wolf, which is one line, "They all look so old." But everyone looks so great. And watching the WhatsApp chats that have gone on, it really is a time capsule from 50 years ago to now. So very briefly, I live Fort Lauderdale in Florida and New York City in New York. I've spoken to many of you, and we all got together 10 years ago. So I'm a cancer doctor, a cancer surgeon, and researcher. What I do now is I'm the chairman of several different biotech companies or related companies. And what our focus is to innovate, really radically innovate new treatments, especially for children with very difficult cancers. We've had actually some very good successes. We've had some very bad failures, but we're working on some things that we think are going to be, we hope anyway, very game-changing. The other thing I'm very focused on is helping certain entities in Israel that are connected, excuse me, to the United States. And as everyone knows, this is not political, but anti-Semitism is the highest it's ever been in the US. So we're heavily focused on connecting different things together. And again, slowly but surely having success. So one of the things is that the teachers union in the US this last week or 2 weeks ago came to a decision to ban any teaching of the Holocaust or anything related. That just changed last night. So we've had huge success turning things around. Obviously, we're going to continue with all of that. With that, I was married for 30 years. I divorced 2 years ago. I'm very fortunate in that I have a great girlfriends. I have 3 wonderful daughters that are throughout the world doing really well. I can't wait to see all of you in March. By the way, I don't think you all look so old. I think you look great. Thank you.
Thanks, Jonathan.
What about the weight story?
I was about to ask.
Sorry, I forgot about that. So a few years ago, together with the former head of neurosurgery, the chairman of neurosurgery in Pittsburgh, I started doing mini triathlons. He's 84, 85 now. He's the former Pittsburgh Steelers team doctor. He's very well known because he did this thing about brain injury in football players, Navy SEALs, and so on. Anyway, he's the world champion over 80 mini triathlon or triathlon champion. He got me into this, and so I've been doing mini triathlons. And so with that, I've lost, one, I've gotten really fit, and two, I've lost weight.
Wow. Wow.
But unfortunately, I thought I'd learn a lot from him and get smarter, but that hasn't happened. Not yet.
You don't need it.
Thanks, Jonathan. Hilton says, Nick, what's news?
But he's still muted.
I'm gonna help you unmute. Okay, unmute.
Sorry.
That's it.
Okay, that's better. Yeah, so living in Sydney. Fortunately, we've got quite a few people that are living in Sydney that we connect with. Been married 41 years in Sydney since 86. 2 children and 3 grandchildren. So we're all moving into that new territory. I still work for my sins, still love it. So keep myself very active. And I love my sport. I love my tennis. Love a lot of activity. So yeah, just enjoying, trying to enjoy the good balance of life. But really good seeing all you guys. And as I said, I've enjoyed the WhatsApp. I may not comment too much, but it's been really nice seeing where all of you are at and what's going on. So, and well done, Doron. You're a strong instigator there.
He is amazing. Thanks, Hilton. Karen Berman, please say hi before you leave.
Hi, everyone.
She's related to my
Sorry,
ex-hubby and lives around the corner.
Yeah, I've just moved. Strangely enough, I'm actually now not at my home. I'm in Victory Park, a block and a half from school, at my Machatonim. So you'll hear lots of children screaming in the background. Yeah, I've been married and I've got 2 kids and 5 grandchildren. My daughter lives in London now, which is quite hard. I'm just sorry that a lot of the people, I've been to Melbourne and Sydney quite a few times and I just didn't get hold of anyone. If I ever go again, I certainly will try and get hold of people there. It's lovely to see people that I haven't seen since school days. I find it quite amazing that I don't bump into the ones that are in Joburg, but I don't. But I'm looking forward to seeing you all. And if you ever are in Joburg, please get in touch. Would love to see you.
Well, they'll
Thanks.
all be here in March, so we'll see them, if not before then.
Yeah, but I mean, if they're here for visiting
Yeah, no, of course.
family or
I hear
whatever.
you.
Yeah,
I hear you.
yeah.
I hear you. Great. Thanks, Karen. Lauren Jaffe, how are you?
I'm good. Hello. Hello, everybody. Can't see myself at the moment. I don't know what I've done, but anyway, I'm presuming
We
you
can
all
see
me.
you.
You can
Yeah.
see me. Good. Okay. I have lived in Australia since 1987. I have 2 children, no grandchildren. I'm still working, almost full time. I run a library in Melbourne called the Victorian History Library. And that's all about me. Still come back. I was coming back to South Africa every year to see my parents, but they're no longer alive. And it's lovely to see everybody. And thank you, Doron, for organizing all of this. And I don't say much on the WhatsApp group either, but I do enjoy reading it. So hello to everybody.
Thank you, Lauren. Minky, can we hear from you? And then after that, I'm going to show you my little presentation I've done.
Hi, everybody. It's great to see you all and looking forward to seeing you in Cape Town. I live on my own with my four-legged child. I'm an architect. I'm still practicing in Cape Town, although it's a completely different ball game to Joburg. I travel a lot whenever I can, and whenever I can, I try and travel with Shira. We've done many travels together. I look forward to seeing you all, and if I can help anybody, please let me know. And Duran, thanks for organizing everything. And Shira too.
And you too. Yes.
Right. Let's put this on. One second. Sorry, I just want to put the sound on. Right. I hope you enjoy this.
Look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. How did our eyes get so red? And what the hell is on Joey's head? This is where I grew up. I think the president fixed it up. I never knew we ever went without. The second floor is hot for sneaking out. And this is where I went to school. Most of the time had better things to do. Criminal record says I've broken twice. I must have done it half a dozen times. I wonder if it's too late. Should I go back and try to graduate? Life's better now than it was back then. If I was them, I wouldn't let me in. Oh God, every memory of looking out the back door. I have a photo album spread out on my bedroom floor. It's hard to say it, time to say it. Goodbye, goodbye. Every memory of walking out the front door. I found the photo of the friend that I was looking for. It's hard to say it, time to say makes me laugh. Every time I do, it makes me
hope you enjoyed watching that as much as I enjoyed putting it together. I'd like to introduce you to Raylene Trudonsky, who runs the King David Schools Foundation, and I'm going to give her 2 minutes. Go, Ray.
Thank you so much, Gilla, and welcome everybody to your 50th class reunion. Wow, it's amazing to see you all, and I can tell you that we've done many of these, and they aren't always such a joyful, happy bunch. So it's just wonderful to see you all, and to see you all so excited about reconnecting. I want to just start by introducing myself. I'm Raylene Trudonsky. I run the King David Schools Foundation, and I need to just start always with an incredible, huge shout out to my colleague Gilla Glazer. These reunions don't just happen. It's hours and hours of work, finding alumni all over the world, setting up alumni groups, getting the pictures, coordinating it. So Gilla, a huge shout out to you for really a wonderful job. Well done yet again. I must also mention, in this particular year, we don't always get a Daron Grossman. Dee, thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your loyalty. Thank you for just being such a King David stalwart, and for just being a really true friend to us over many years, and for your help again with this reunion, and please God, the upcoming one in March. Okay, so guys, what else does the foundation do besides reunions? We have ones online, we have ones in person. I hope you're going to all try and make the one in March, please God, for yours. But what we really do, and our main reason for being, Elliot and Jeffrey, who I know is on this call, would want me to say the Latin word, but I always seem to mess it up. But our real reason for being is actually fundraising, because today, unfortunately, the Jewish community of Johannesburg is really just a third of what it was in its heyday, in the days when you were at school. You know, we talk about there being over 100,000 Jews in Johannesburg today. Unfortunately, there are about less than 40, maybe 35,000. What we do have, though, is an incredibly cohesive, Zionistic, very proudly Jewish, proud supporters of Israel, and really a Jewish community that is quite unique anywhere in the world. And for those of you who I've met in my travels, because I've had the wonderful opportunity of traveling to alumni, to countries and cities where the bulk of our alumni live, I think you'll bear testament to the fact that there's nothing like our South African Jewish community. But as I say, today it's much smaller, and dare I say it, poorer. And so what I do, and what the foundation does, is we appeal to alumni wherever they may live, and we ask them the same question. If you had the privilege of a King David education, and I think you'll understand again from this reunion just what a privilege it actually was, and if today you are in the wonderful position to be able to give back, please will you help us and support a child who is not so fortunate. Today we financially assist over 500 children in our King David school system. I have an annual budget of 40 million rand. That is the shortfall in fees that we do not get from full-paying parents. That is approximately $2 million US. It really never sounds that much in dollars, but in rands, it's 40 million rand. School fees today are 200,000 rand a child, or about 11,000 American dollars, roughly about 14,000 Aussie dollars. And just to end, what I'd like to share with you is that what we do make an appeal to every reunion class is to consider a scholarship from your year. I know it's been done before in this wonderful year in honor of a man who I never got to meet, but I hear was a wonderful guy, George Soros. I don't know if that's a possibility to do one again, but we will be very grateful for all and any donations received. And before I end, just to let you know that we do have tax deductible status today in almost all the countries where the bulk of our alumni live. So of course in South Africa, in America, in the UK, in Israel, and in Australia. If you make a donation, let us know. We can tell you the way to do it and get the tax deduction in the city where you live. That's me done. Thank you again for coming. Have a wonderful rest of the reunion. And please God, we will see you at the school in March. Lehitraot.
Gila, there
So
are a few people that have to leave, like Graham Levy and Michelle
I
Katz.
just
Maybe
want
call them next.
Jonathan Lewis to come on quickly to say something, and then I can ask them to speak.
Thank you, Gila. I was just communicating with
Jonathan,
Gila
Jonathan,
about.
I thought, sorry, Jonathan, I'm being very rude and interrupting you. I didn't mention you and your wonderful friendship because I thought you were leaving. You said you needed to leave. But a huge shout out to you for your gracious hospitality recently in Fort Lauderdale. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So I thought it may be helpful to talk about George Souris. George and I became close at the very end of his life. The way we became close is that he reached out to me really immediately when his son became sick. His son's name was Alexei, the same name as my middle daughter. And ironically, it was around March of 2018 when something very bad happened to my middle daughter. Her name's Alexei, his name was Alexei. And with Alexei, he was graduating the top of his class as a law student in University of Michigan. And what happened was that he developed symptoms. Symptoms were in his leg that went, and this went all the way up to his spine, to something called a sarcoma. And it turned out to be a very difficult, one of the worst sarcomas. And the reason that George reached out to me is that that was something that I happen to know a lot about. And one of the things we were speaking about, one of the childhood cancers that I've worked a lot on. With that, he underwent treatment at a place in New York called Sloan Kettering, which is one of the best in the world. He responded initially to treatment. He actually got an all clear. He started working at a law firm, one of the top law firms in New York. The firm, I mean, they loved him. He was exceptionally good. He was the only son of George and his wife, Wendy. And this really was the pinnacle of everything that they'd worked for in terms of emigrating, doing everything, getting him into the law school, and so on. Within 6-8 months, this tumor occurred. And as it often does with these kinds of things, there's something called Ewing sarcoma. It recurred very difficultly and then really badly. And the ensuing course, which went on for, and I don't remember the exact amount of months, but it became really quite difficult. I met with George, obviously, many times. And in his mind, this was a very binary kind of thing for both him and his wife, Wendy. They'd worked, this was everything, and they had one child. And one of the meetings I had with him was in Grand Central train station in New York. And he said to me at that time, if this ends badly, in other words, if his son dies, he had made a pact with his wife that they were going to commit suicide. I didn't question it. I didn't judge him. I just accepted it and kept on talking just in terms of various things to help his son. His son died a few months later, and there was a memorial service in December of 2019 that Duran was very influential in terms of putting together. In fact, Duran and I spoke, giving part of the eulogy. There was no indication at that time. I mean, George was very upright, also obviously gave a eulogy, very helpful organizing and so on and so forth. I had spoken to him afterwards, and again, there was we didn't talk about it, and I intentionally didn't bring it up. But just before, he did reach out to me, again, giving no indication, but the understanding that this was something that was such a huge blow and such a deep thing for him and his wife. And there was nothing else. And he'd spoken as well about, because his son Alexei was cremated, that they were going to spread his ashes, I think it was in Guadeloupe, which was one of their favorite places. And once that was done, that was closure for them. And the next thing was, and he'd spoken to me again just days before, that he was going to be going to Switzerland. And I think I did understand what he was talking about. I accepted without judgment what they were doing. I didn't try and intervene. I didn't try and, yeah, I had before more or less, but without judging. And the next thing was that I got the WhatsApp message that I think a lot of us got. But I think it's important to understand because this was a really difficult thing for me, very difficult for my daughter, who'd gotten to know his son. You know, they both had the same name. They'd both had something really bad happen in March of 2018. And so it's very difficult all around. But really important to understand that as crazy as this sounded, as it was, and so on, for George and his wife, Wendy, in the context of what they'd been through, which was so bad, this for them was an outcome that they had thought about, that they'd worked around, they'd spoken to a lot of people, and for them, this was what they wanted, and it was understandable. So I thought it important to just seeing things crossing around here, important to just bring out what the facts are, what the facts were with this. It still is very difficult. One of the things given at the memorial service, Duran, I don't know if you still have it, was a quote from Zorba the Greek, that a little bit of craziness, you know, is really important. One of the Zorba quotes, because otherwise you can't be free with all of this. And I still have that. And it's a picture of Lexi, their son, the one who died, playing cricket, dressed up, you know, like Zorba the Greek. But in that context, again, just as I say, important for me to remember that, you know, as tragic and crazy as this was, it's understandable. Difficult, but understandable.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jonathan. Is Mark Bloomberg still here? Because he said he needs to go.
Yeah, Mark Bloom, I'm here.
Oh, sorry, Bloom. Hello, Mark.
Hi.
Sorry.
Jonathan, thanks for that very appropriate message about George. He was a very good friend of mine, and I miss him dearly. It was a big loss to all of us. You probably know my wife, Sharon Kalmar. She was at King David Linksfield. We got married 43 years ago. We've been living in Sydney for 22 years. We have 4 kids, three girls and a boy, all married. We have 8 grandchildren, and they all live very close to us. So we are very, very lucky and have a great big family. I qualified as an accountant after school, went to the army. You probably know some of the organizations that I became the CFO of Liberty Life in Johannesburg. You probably all remember that with Donnie Gordon. And when I immigrated to Australia, I became the CFO of Westfield, which is, you've probably mostly all come across a Westfield shopping center in the US, Europe, and Australia. So that's been my career. I retired 6 years ago, but I'm still doing quite a lot of work for various companies and for some Jewish community organizations. So keeps me very busy and very fulfilled. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, we were in Israel when the war with Iran broke out. That was a really crazy time. And I just wanted to say to all the people who live in Israel, notwithstanding that I was there in when the Yom Kippur War broke out, this was something really impactful on our lives, and it really made me appreciate what you all do for living in Israel and how much you contribute to the strength of us as a Jewish nation. And it really made us feel like, notwithstanding the trouble there, it's really all our home, and maybe one day we'll all be there.
Thank you so much. Graham Levy and Michelle Katz need to leave. Please don't leave. Just quickly say hello. Graham, do you want to say hi quick? Did I miss him? Oh no. Michelle Katz, are you still here? That's sad. Sorry. Can we quickly hear from Barbara, or does anybody else have to leave before Barbara and Jeffrey come on? Let's quickly ask Barbara and Jeffrey to say hi. Barbara, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, it's
There we
unmuted.
go.
Let me talk first.
Hi, we
Hello,
can hear you.
everyone. Shalom to all of you. It's been so inspiring to listen to all your stories. Barbara and I made a decision not to be seen this time because independently we both had a fall, and our faces are so bruised that we didn't think it was fitting to be seen at this stage. But we will certainly make every effort to be at the reunion in March next year in Franschhoek, and there we hope to see a great number of you. You must remember that I was in my apprenticeship as a headmaster in your year. That was the first year that I took over the head of King David Victory Park High. So for me, this group has a very special significance and meaning. I remember you all very well. Some of you have changed somewhat. The men in particular without hair, and Johnny Lewis looking so thin. I never remember you in that way. But I have the fondest memories of all of you, and I look back to that time as being something really golden in my career as an educator. I hope to see you soon in South Africa if you can make it here, because we certainly will be there in Franschhoek. Shalom to you all.
Thanks, Jeffrey. Hi, Barbara.
Hi.
I just want to say, it's not that you look old. I just have a picture of all of you as I remember you then. Some of you I actually taught from from standard 6. And I remember you like that. So it was difficult for me to see. Some of you I have seen over the years. Johnny Lewis we've seen, Elion we've seen. And so for me, those people don't look any different. But the rest of you, many of you look very different. But it's lovely to hear how well you've done, wherever you've been, wherever you've gone. We both stayed at the school for 31 years. Jeffrey left before I did. But they were the wonderful golden years for us. I still remember you all. Those of you who've seen my book will see how much it all meant to us. And I just want to say we've got 3 children. We've had 3 children. One lives in Israel. He's been there since 1989 in the high-tech industry. And the other 2 remain in South Africa, which we're very happy about. We've got 7 grandchildren, 3 in Israel and 4 here. And we've now moved into a very brand new retirement home, which is a little bit like a boutique hotel. And we live very close to the 2 that are still here. And life has been very good for us. We've enjoyed the years. We've been married for, last year was 60 years. So it's nearly 61 next month. And we've had a very good life here. And we're looking forward to seeing you in March. Johnny, I didn't know you were in Fort Lauderdale because for the past 2 Decembers, we've actually been in Fort Lauderdale. I have a cousin, a wealthy cousin, who sends us tickets to come to his Thanksgiving party in Fort Lauderdale. So if we do get invited this year, I will certainly look you up.
Would love to see you.
Thanks,
And
Barbara.
Bernard, I don't know if he knew, but you live in the same complex as my son in West Road South. So I hear about you occasionally. And Jeffrey, of course, I've seen Jeffrey Sher, and I didn't know that you'd actually left the country because until 2 years ago, I was still quite involved at the school. I helped with the drama and the musical productions, and I worked in the tuck shop all after I'd retired. And I used to see Jeffrey and some of his children there too. Anyway, lovely to see you all and looking forward to seeing you in person without all the bruises.
Shane, Barbara, wishing you a speedy recovery, you and Jeffrey.
Thank
Debbie,
you.
I don't want you.
We didn't fall together. It was very strange. Barbara fell a week before I did. And I look
much worse.
Like a ghoul.
Too
shocking at the moment.
No, we look as if we had a fight and I won.
Debbie, before you leave, please say hi, and then Terry's also going to leave. So it's Debbie, then Terry.
Hi, and thank you, Gilla and Raylene. I understand the context of why you do these, and it's very much appreciated on our side, and I get the business context 100%. And Doron, I realize I love you now as much as I did then. That's my family behind me, 2 boys with 4 grandchildren. They all live around us in Sydney. I was in a very privileged position to marry my King David Victory Park boyfriend, Mark, whom pretty much all of you know, and we've spent our whole married life discussing the way we grew up at the school we went to, and we know most of the same people. So whenever you say something, Mark and I discuss it. And our kids, we landed up sending our kids to a very similar type of school because of that. We told them how important it was for us to have a Jewish education and how important it was for us to have a school that had a community feel to it. And I like to think it's the reason our 2 boys are very, very fine men. It's quite amazing to see all of you, I have to say. I only see some people. Terry, I see quite often still. Mark and I landed up, we both went into various medical fields, and we landed up working together for 30 years till we retired a few years ago, which was an absolute privilege to work with my husband. Everyone said, don't work with your husband. They were wrong. It was great. And then when we retired, I said, okay, now's my time to go and work in community. And everybody said, don't work in Jewish community. And they were wrong. I love it. I work with our community, and it's a privilege to give back to our community now in my retirement.
Thanks, Debbie. Debbie, are you related to Ari Edenberg?
Yeah, my brother-in-law.
So you're on the same family group as me.
Mark is. I'm not on the group. Yes, but Mark is.
Okay.
Yes.
Makes sense. Terry, hi.
Hi. Sorry, I've got to get to bed. Really start tomorrow. I still see quite a lot of the people from Victory Park. There were certainly the Sydney people and a few of the ones in the States, and catch up with those when we're there. What did I do? When I finished school, did physiotherapy, got married, went to live in KwaZulu for a couple of years, and then left for Sydney soon after that. We've been here probably nearly 40 years. I've got 2 kids, one living in Singapore, about to have a baby, one living in Sydney, who's got a baby, and been married to the same person for nearly 40-something years, and still work as a physio, or more in hospital administration, do some clinical work sometime. And otherwise, I'm just very lucky. Fortunately, we've had a very fortunate life, and great to see everybody. And thank you for organizing this, Doron, and hope to see everybody soon. Cheers.
Thank you, Terry. Sweet dreams. Is Leslie still online? Because she's also in Australia. I don't see her name. I think she may have gone to bed. Leslie? No. All right, who else? Who would like to speak next, or can I just carry on calling?
I'm
Sorry,
happy
I
to
just have to say something, is that Derek Fabian looks as though he's got this leopard on his head, and I can't concentrate on anything else. Is it a leopard? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cheetah.
It's a
Cheetah.
cheetah.
Yeah, the
Cheetah
cheetah
from
leopard.
the Kruger Park. Sorry.
No, it's fun.
Shira, while you're chatting, carry on.
Okay, it's really nice to see whoever's left. A lot of people have left. And I did want to say is that when was it, 10 years ago, I think I wouldn't have come to the school reunion if it hadn't been in Israel. By the way, I live in Israel, just outside of Jerusalem. And I went and I absolutely loved it. I was so surprised. It was so fantastic to meet everybody and to see where everybody is today. So I'm going to be flying back to South Africa to see what's 10 years later. And those who I mean, I'm really not part of the promotion team, but I'm just taking from my own experience. I was so surprised. It was fantastic. And the other thing is I can't not mention George, because George came. It was the first time he'd ever been to Israel, and he came to the reunion, and we all connected again. And we had such a wonderful time together with George. And then whatever you call it happened, I don't know. In the beginning, I understood him, and then afterwards I was angry, actually, that he shouldn't have done it. But it was mixed feelings.
Not our choice.
The other thing, which I probably got ADD because I'm running all over the place, is that I don't know what's happened to the school's tuck shop, because the photographs that Gila showed had this fancy tuck shop. And my fantasy of that old tuck shop, like we had to rush and stand in long lines and to grab something.
You still have to rush. You still have to rush and stand in long lines.
Yeah, but I
it just got a facelift. It's still in the same spot.
I love that old tuck shop.
I know. Sad.
Anyway, so I live near Jerusalem. I've been in Israel probably almost. I studied here at Wits, and then I came to Israel, and I've had a love-hate relationship with this place since I've been here. It's for more than 45 years. I've got 2 Israeli kids who I really am. My biggest pride is that they're doing things that they absolutely love. And that for me really is heartwarming. And I have 5 grandchildren, and they keep me young, and I love being with them. I just love hanging out with them and seeing the world through their eyes. And I travel quite a lot, and I feel fortunate that I meet up with Louise. I meet all over the world. I meet up with Minky all over the world, and Rutha. And I've quite a few of you I've met up on my travels. Doron, Bernard, and Ellen occasionally when I've been to South Africa. Everyone else is gone. I mean, whoever, yeah. And it's nice to see you all again.
Thanks, Shira. Louise, how are you doing today?
I'm great, thank you. Yeah, I live in Toronto. I lived in Israel for 7 years, for 7 years, and then we came to Toronto. 3 years ago, everybody's talking about sort of just factual stuff. I had a huge upheaval in my life. I had a big health issue. I got divorced. Life seemed to have collapsed. But then suddenly in 2023, some wonderful things happened. And that's the wonder of life, that you think things are just absolutely terrible, and then things just switch around totally. That said, so I have 2 sons. I have 3 grandchildren and another one on the way. I have a new partner. I travel a lot. I'm actually very happy. And some of the people that stood by me and I couldn't have done it without them while I was going through that tough time, was Shira, Rutha, and Doron in a huge way, and then other King David alumni who weren't in our year. So honestly, I wouldn't have got through it without the King David experience. It was just fantastic. So, and I look forward to seeing everybody in March. I'm making a big effort and making a big trip. Shira, Rutha, and I are meeting in Zanzibar first, and then Shira and I will be at the reunion. So I hope to catch up with everyone then.
That sounds amazing. Judith, do you want to say hi?
Yeah, hi everyone. Can you see me? Sorry, just adjusting
You
my.
can see and hear.
Okay. I live in Toronto. I am married to Stephen Kramer, who was at Linksfield, and many of you probably know his sister Janet, who was in our year at Linksfield, so she's my sister-in-law. I have two great kids. One is a veterinarian. She lives in Toronto. She has two beautiful children, 1 and 3, who I love spending time with. My son is an internal medicine specialist. He lives in Vancouver and he's married. And career-wise, I've zigzagged a lot, started out in architecture. I spent some time in the real estate development industry. I worked for PricewaterhouseCoopers in their management consulting group and real estate consulting for a long time. I ran the consulting group for CBRE in Toronto for about 8 years. And for the last 10 years, I've been I set up my own consultancy, specialized in public sector real estate. And for the last 5 years, I've had the privilege of being a specialist consultant to the World Bank and the opportunity to work internationally, helping governments on their real estate issues. I just wanted to say something about Jewish day schools. And I think, we had an enormously privileged beginning, but it's been a launch pad, I think, for some very, very amazing people and amazing things. And I chose to send my 2 kids to Jewish day schools in Toronto. And, as Raylene was saying, it's a huge financial investment. But we did that. And now is the time for the decision about my grandchildren and what kind of school they will go to. And unfortunately, with the anti-Semitism that is prevalent in the schooling system, which is very, very sad in the public schools in Toronto, my daughter and her husband have made the decision to send their children to Jewish day schools. So it's incredibly important. It's something that I think we took for granted. We didn't appreciate as young kids. It was just the way we lived. But there's tremendous value there. And I've just come, especially lately, seeing how much anti-Semitism there is, to understand how important the investment and the tradition is. So I just wanted to put that out there. I think it's a very important thing to think about. And it's great to see all of you. You all look like your parents, by the way, which is scary when I think that I do too. So that's it.
Thanks, Judith. Barry Lampert and then Janice. Barry, are you related to Stephen Lampert?
Yes, I am.
Good family.
Yeah, I haven't seen Stephen in a long time. Do you know him?
I'm friendly with his sister Lisa.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think he lives in Texas or something.
Lives in
I
Dallas.
think he did. I'm
in
not
Dallas.
sure. Raylene would know better than me about Stephen. He was in Cape Town for a bit and then he did go back. I'm not sure where in America.
Dallas. He lives
Uh,
in Dallas.
Dallas, yes. Oh, it's been years. I haven't seen him in years. Maybe 35 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So anyway, I left South Africa in 1983 and I went to America and I started a computer business in America, which I did for about 40 years. No, about 30 years. I retired just before age 60. My wife has Parkinson's and dementia and Parkinson's psychosis and diabetes and everything that goes along with all of those diseases. She's in a very bad way. I was her caregiver. That was my job when I retired. I was her caregiver for 10 years. Now I got a full-time 24-hour caregiver. She's from the Philippines. She's excellent. She takes care of my wife. My wife has no idea who I am. When I walk in the room, I can see in her eyes she's not quite sure what to say to me, and then she'll burst out with something like, "What's your last name?" And it's kind of sad. So yeah, she has lost the mobility in her legs and her arms, and of course, the Parkinson's psychosis giving her delusions and delirium, and the dementia. She can't remember anything for more than 2 minutes. It's really, really bad. I'm not going to put her in a home. I'm just going to have the caregiver look after her. And I've got 2 daughters. I don't have any grandchildren. I decided now that I have a 24-hour caregiver, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my life, the golden years, the retirement years. There's no way I'm going to be working. I'm currently on vacation in Vietnam, and it's a wonderful place. And I will be back in Los Angeles, where I live, on the 28th of July. And I think that I'm just going to have to handle the rest of my life the way I have to do it. So that's my story.
Harry, it's like they say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So you'll be one bite at a time.
Yeah, and yes, I was shocked about George Soros and how that all transpired, but it was his wish, so be it. My wife, before she lost her mind, she really wanted to go to Switzerland and do assisted suicide, and then unfortunately her dementia kicked in and she couldn't remember that she wanted to do that. So that was it. Okay, well, I hope to see you all soon in next
Will
year.
you be coming to the South Africa get together?
I am definitely thinking of coming to the South Africa get together. I have not been to South Africa since 1983. So I'm very curious. And I want
Well, we hope to see you in person.
Yeah. Okay, that's it for me.
Thanks, Barry. Enjoy Vietnam.
Thank you.
Hello. Hi, Janice.
Hi, it's just so wonderful and heartwarming to see everyone and hear everyone's stories. Barry, you must be a very, very special person to be by your wife's side and care for her. And I really do understand that, having had many health issues over the years. My husband, Stephen Zandi, has been by my side and helping me, and it's just, you can't do it alone. So kudos to you, Barry, really. No, We have lived in the US for 38 years, mostly in New Jersey, but we have moved around a fair amount. We lived in Atlanta for 10 years and in Jacksonville, Florida for 4 years. We have one amazing, beautiful daughter and one grandson, and we are just relishing in spending time with him and seeing our daughter with her own baby, which is just the most remarkable thing. And honestly, I feel grateful and privileged to be here today, and to see you all. And that's I do see Duran fairly often because we live quite close to one another. And I have seen people in Australia over the years since my entire family immigrated to Melbourne. But it's wonderful to see those of you that I haven't seen since school. So really fabulous to be here.
Thank you, Janice. Stefan, how are you doing today?
I'm well, thank you. I think maybe some of you may not remember, I left King David at the end of, I think, Standard 8. I haven't seen virtually all of you since then. Doron, you and I had lunch about 15 years ago. Mark Bloom, we had a coffee in Sydney. George also reached out to me when his son was dying. Johnny Lewis and I overlapped at Memorial Sloan Kettering. And the love he had for his son was just indescribable. And I'm a medical oncologist. I do understand where he came from, but it was very difficult for me. I live in New Orleans. We've lived here for 2 years. I've lived in various places around the United States, short time in the UK. I have 2 children. I have no grandchildren because my daughter is 13 and my son is 11. I'm a medical oncologist. I have an endowed chair at Tulane University Medical School. I'm chief of hematology oncology. I'm director of the Cancer Center. I spent most of my career in academic medicine. I spent a little time practice. I spent about 10 years practicing law, both in private practice and as a general counsel of a pharmaceutical company. Like Johnny, I'm involved in a company that has an innovative device to treat lung cancer. I'm the general counsel. My wife is also a professor. She's an artist and professor of art education. We're planning to come to South Africa next year. It's unlikely I'll be able to come to the reunion, however, because it's not during the school holidays. But all is good. Good to see you all again.
Thank you so much. Derek, how's it?
Hi everyone. All this talk of triathlons, I could barely drag myself out of bed this morning. But it is wonderful to see everybody. I left South Africa right after the army and then Wits, and have lived in Los Angeles ever since. Actually, right now, live in the Hollywood zip code in the Hollywood Hills, but or consider myself the furthest thing from Hollywood.
Derek, you weren't affected with the fires, were you?
About 2 blocks away.
Oh my goodness.
About 2 blocks away.
Ouch.
I know Barry was affected as well. It's still very scary, and honestly, it's like PTSD. I don't even want to drive through those areas. It's so sad and so devastating.
I'm sure.
But anyway, I have two daughters. One married, one should be married next year. The other should be married. No grandchildren yet. At the moment, I am mostly retired and spend time doing a lot of volunteer stuff. And that's I wish I had some more exciting things to talk about. It is
What have you
remarkable
retired
seeing
from?
everybody.
What did you
I
retire
had
from?
several different iterations, but a lot of work in human resources and sales and marketing, and then most recently in the security industry.
Okay. Good. Well, I'm glad you weren't affected physically
Thank you.
in the fires. Louise, you said you forgot to say something.
Yes, I did. Michael, I wanted to say something to you because honestly, I think that you were the most influential, exciting, fabulous teacher we ever had. I mean, even in your talk, you went and used the word peripatetic or something. I can't even say it. And I remember being totally kind of excited. You taught me the word lucid when I think I was 12 or 13. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. He's going to teach us new words. I was absolutely mesmerized by your classes. And I think that there were a whole cohort of us, a whole group of us who were really we were your groupies, your fans. I don't even know how to describe it. And I just want to let you know that, when you have to, say you sign up for a bank account or any kind of account, and then one of the security questions they ask you, who was your favorite teacher? Pincus comes up every single time. So I want you to know that you've been in my thoughts over the years, and I'm very grateful for all those years of teaching. It was fantastic.
And may I say,
I second that.
I third that.
And I'm sure Judy
And that's
does
how many
too.
years later we still feel the same way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the gift for me was critical thinking.
Oh, absolutely.
Remember
Wait,
going
I
to
have
see
to
the
just
movies Amarcord and Schlachhof 5.
Yeah,
to your
wait, and I have to
recommendation.
tell you, Michael, do you remember you gave the first essay you ever gave us in history was who was the best Renaissance painter and why? And I went off and I wrote a whole essay about Leonardo da Vinci, saying when he was born, what he did, what he painted, and I thought I did a great job. And what I got back from you was a red line right through the whole thing. You didn't say why. You didn't justify yourself. And I got a 0. And that was a light bulb moment that has stayed with me my entire life. In fact, I follow politics. I analyze. I don't believe anything I read. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not a Trump supporter. So it's not, that's not a euphemism for that. But I'm really very, very critical. I mean, most people, that's what they say about me. And a lot of that has got to do with the way you taught me to think.
Yeah, I agree. Very well said. Thank you, Louise, and thank you, Michael.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, may I say something?
Yes.
Sure.
I've read a very interesting and very, can you see me?
Yeah, but I
we
can't
can
hear
see
you very
you.
well.
Very interesting and a very fortunate life. I'm very grateful for having had the invitation to come and see people. It's one of my greatest gratitude is that 50 years later, I'm thought of, who would ever feel that or sense that I'm very sentimental, as you can see.
You remember that about you. You were always like that.
Not a great quality. I look now.
Beautiful quality.
Yeah, beautiful quality.
But what I really remember about all my Jewish day school experiences was the wonderful communities that they were. I mean, I moved out of the Jewish day school for the last 26 years of my career. And the school always used to say what a wonderful community it was, but nothing ever matched the communities of the Jewish day schools. Nothing. To have to in the United States, you have to bite your tongue a lot because this is the greatest nation on earth. So I would always say, yes, this is a wonderful community, and only to a very select people who were strong friends of mine would I say what I really knew was a strong community. So I'm very grateful for having had this invitation. What I also remember most about, and it's going to sound so superficial, I was also a cricket coach, and I coached the first 15 rugby team. And at the end of my career, there's a school in Oakland, Bishop O'Dowd, which is a Catholic school. They invited me to become one of their rugby coaches. At the end of my career, I was 70 years old, and I lasted 3 years. But that was sort of like a culmination of my career, in a way that at the end I would be asked to do that. I've had a very wonderful and interesting experience. My daughters are wonderful. My grandchildren are terrific. One of the reasons I moved to San Miguel is that I have two grandchildren. One is 12 and one is 14. By the way, San Miguel has a Jewish community, a small, but very vibrant Jewish community. It has a Jewish center, and the Jewish center is very open to all people in San Miguel, and it's a vibrant Jewish center. It has a synagogue, it has wonderful discussion groups, and at this stage, I've become friendly with the director of the center, and she's asked me to run a discussion group in the coming months. So I'm very fortunate, and people would not realize that there's a strong, vibrant, lively Jewish community in San Miguel, mainly Canadians and Americans, but also a lot of Mexicans and a lot of people from Venezuela. And so it's exciting to be here in many ways, and it's offered me some challenges. So I'd like to thank Doron for making the contact with me, and I wish all of you a happy life, a wonderful life, and don't give up being positive and optimistic about life. Right till the bitter end, in sickness or in health, just remember that. We live in grim times, but make sure that your microcosmic life is as successful as possible. And I must say, I have a lot of love for you.
That's so sweet. Thank you.
Would you come
Lana
to the
Paul-
reunion?
Sorry?
Would you come to the reunion?
I'm thinking about it. It's from Mexico, it's a long way to go from Mexico. And I have to really give it a lot of thought. I'd love to come, but I have to give it a lot. I was last in South Africa 3 years ago. Took my ex-wife and I, we took and my ex and I'm divorced, as probably some of you know, but my ex-wife and I are still very, very close friends. And we took my grandchild off as for his bar mitzvah present. We took him to South Africa and to Botswana. And those of you who have not been to Botswana, I really recommend it. It's a wonderful place.
It'd be great if you came.
Yes. So
Lana Paul. Sorry, Michael.
I'm just going to say, because of the wildlife of South Africa, and it hasn't been mentioned, the safaris, they may have had a huge impression upon me. And when my 14-year-old grandson was last year, we decided to take him and his brother to Tanzania. And I hear some of you are going on to Zanzibar. You should try and squeeze in Tanzania and the Serengeti. But what I do think is I wanted them to experience the love that I had for the wildlife of South Africa. It's a gift, and we should not forget that. That's it. Sorry.
Thanks, Michael. Lana, hello.
Hi. So great segue just to say to Michael Pincus that, you know, if there's anything I ever learned at school, it was from you. You taught us about bias and looking at things objectively. And I cannot begin to tell you how that, you know, way of thinking has influenced my life. So thank you for that. Anyway, to get back to the sort of 2 to 3 minutes summary, I left South Africa in 81, married to my husband, Ed Korb, who is a graduate of King David Linksfield. We've lived in Toronto, I guess it's now 40 something years. We have 2 children, a 32-year-old girl and a woman, I should say, and a 30-year-old son. And we are expecting our first grandchild beginning of next year. So that's all the latest hot off the press news. I have had a interesting change in careers. I started off in the corporate world. I worked in senior management for a multinational. I then went back to school, did an MBA, came out of that looking for a consulting job, couldn't quite figure out how to be with the kids and do that, changed careers, went back to school, did landscape design. That's what I've been doing ever since and really, really enjoying it. Looking at that video put together, which is a fantastic video, I hope to get a copy. I'm looking at all the sports teams, thinking that I never actually made it beyond egg and spoon race, reserved for the netball team, the B team, just not sporty at all. Although Lauren and I used to play tennis, we tried on a Wednesday afternoon for a few years at high school. But now find that I love the outdoors. We do lovely trips and spend time in beautiful scenery. And, you know, with my work in landscape design, I'm outdoors a lot. And from a sports point of view, I have recently found golf. And I'm absolutely loving golf. So who knew that I'd have any interest in any sports ever, given my history. So nice to see everybody. It's been a very long time. From the Wolves, I learned through Latin. One thing stuck with me. It's a translation from Ovid. You cannot be cruel to me for long. And that stayed with me too, let me say. And I also remember Mr. Oliver telling me that, you know, I should go take up cake decorating. And that stayed with me too. Anyway, and I'm sure with a lot of other people on this group. Thanks, everybody. Nice to see you all.
Thanks, Lana. We're going to go Michelle Gordon, then Roy, then Shelley.
Can I go?
Yeah, please do.
Can you see me?
Yes.
We can.
Hi, everyone. It's been just amazing to... Sorry, what?
No, speak.
Oh. Okay, it's just been amazing to see all of you. And just want to say that I actually lost touch with King David a bit because I went to Damlin in Form 4. So for me, this is really special to reconnect with everyone. After listening to a lot of the people's stories today, I just think we all should be so grateful and so blessed. Some of our, you know, friends have passed away and they spoke of George. So if anything I'm going to take out of today is how grateful and blessed we all are. I didn't get invited to the 40th reunion, but I'm now definitely coming to the 50th reunion, and I'm going to be very involved in the reunion. I was married for 21 years and got divorced. I have then been with my same partner for 25 years. I have 3 children. My daughter married a Davidian. My other daughter works with me in my business. and my son is a famous artist and lives in Bali. All three of my children went to King David, Sandton, and Victory Park and Linksfield for high school. And now I have twin grandchildren, two gorgeous girls, 9 years old, who are at King David, Sandton. So we are third generation of King David. And I can't explain to you when I walk into the school, you know, how it feels. And I've done a lot of work and events at King David Victory Park. I'm actually doing their matric dance this year. And I can't explain, guys, what it's like to walk into your old high school and now you're actually going to be doing their matric dance. I ran the fundraising at King David Sandton when my three children were there. And as a joke, one parent came to me and said, "Would you do my son's bar mitzvah?" And I said, "What do I know from events?" Anyway, that was 30 years ago, and I've now been running an events management company. I qualified as a teacher, and I taught art for 15 years and sewing, and I've been in events for 30 years. Someone spoke about the tuck shop at King David. Guys, my grandchildren now have an app. They order their menu on an app. That's how the tuck shop has advanced today. I also just think, Doron, everyone's got such beautiful stories that we must think of doing something with this. And everyone, if you've got any memorabilia, uniforms, autograph books, pictures, we're going to ask everyone to bring this to the reunion and do a full-on display. And I'm really looking forward to getting involved, organizing your events, and just guys having a really special time together, and also to be blessed that we all are able so many years later to do this. And kudos to everyone who's been helping. I'm not going to mention names because I might cause some rebels, but you know who you are.
Right.
And great to see you all after all these years. Have to be honest, if I walk past some of you in the street, I don't know if you'd recognize me or if I'd recognize you. And when they say we're old, we're not old, we're wiser, and we are just all blessed.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Roy has it.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you all. I'll tell you a little bit about my background. I'm a little bit different. I left King David at the end of Standard 5, so seeing some of you guys is amazing. It's 55 years ago since I last saw some of you. I went to Parktown Boys, and then I qualified as an accountant and got married. My wife is Gillian Tuch from Emmarentia. And as soon as we qualified, we left South Africa. I went to Chicago, did an MBA in Chicago, and moved down to Dallas in 1985. And I've been here in Dallas since 85. Actually, know Barry's cousin fairly well, Stephen. He lives here in Dallas. Since we've been here in 85, I have two boys. One lives in Dallas here with two granddaughters, and then I have a son who lives up in Boston. He's got 4 kids, 2 boys and 2 girls. I started basically my own real estate company in Dallas in the late 80s, and have built that up over a number of years. Still in the real estate business, both commercial and residential.
Ela, just after Shelley, Michelle Katz has returned, so please give her an opportunity.
I saw. Roy, did you finish? I felt like you were cut off.
I'm done. And it's great to see everyone again, and I'm seriously thinking of coming down to the reunion. I haven't seen people for so long. I know that many years ago, Doron came to visit my wife and I in Chicago, and but unfortunately lost a bit of touch with the people over the years.
Well, you're going to reconnect now. Shelley, hello.
I'll add one
Yeah,
other thing.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, we have, sorry, we have a Jewish day school here in Dallas, a Solomon Schechter, that goes through from, it's basically preschool to 8th grade. Both my boys went to that school, and I've been on that board of that school for well over 30 years now.
Good. Nice.
So, you know, to piggyback on what some people said, when we grew up in South Africa and the life we had and the connection we made with, you know, the Jewish connection, I think is so important, and I think it holds everyone in such good stead, and it just became part of the person who you are, whether you religious, not religious, you know, that didn't matter. I just think growing up with that Jewish background is such an integral part of who we are.
I couldn't agree more. Shira?
Yeah, I've spoken.
I think it's Shelley next.
Sorry, I meant Shelley. I apologize. I apologize. Shelley?
Hello. Can you
Hi.
see me?
Yeah.
Hi. So great to see everybody after all these years. Some of you I do still keep in touch with, but it's really nice to see what everyone's doing and where you've come from, and how you've all settled in all over the world. I'm in Toronto. I've been here since 1988, 37 years. My husband is Canadian. I have 2 stepchildren and 3 step-grandchildren who all live in Vancouver, and we do see them quite often. I'm in the exciting world of travel, and I've been a travel agent in Toronto ever since I came. I deal with the luxury market. A big portion of what I do is travel to Israel and safaris in Africa. I do travel quite a lot, not as much as I'd like to, but I do get to go and visit different places all over the world. I go to South Africa pretty often, well, used to, but not so much anymore. But it's so good to catch up with everybody, and I do hope to come to the reunion next year and continue with all the stories.
Thanks, Shelley. I hope we get to see you next year as well.
Thank you.
Michelle, yeah. We should rope you in to help everyone get a nice package from Toronto to Cape Town.
Of course, I'm sure I can help with that, as long as everyone travels together.
I'm sure. Well, booking. Hello, Michelle Katz. Was he unmuting?
Unmuted.
There we go. Hello.
Hi. Thank you, Gila, for all the work you're doing. And of course, thanks to Doron for the great work that he's been doing on this major project. It's been really nice to connect with everybody again after so many years, close to 50. I live in Toronto, and I've lived here for 50 years. I've been married to Larry, who I met just before I matriculated in Plettenberg Bay, and then came with my family to Toronto. Larry and I got married here, and then between 81 and 83, we lived in Israel for a couple of years, and then came back to Toronto because my family was all here. I have 2 children, a daughter who lives in Toronto, who has a 5-year-old and a 1.5-year-old. And so that's just a joy and a pleasure because she lives around the corner and we get to see her very often. I have a son and daughter-in-law who live in Washington, D.C. And the reason I had to leave a little earlier is because we have our granddaughter staying with us from DC. She's been with us for almost 5.5 weeks, and it's just a joy and a pleasure to have her on her own and spend this unique and special time with her. So it's been busy, but a lot of fun. Pretty much, I think that's it. I am really hoping to be at the reunion. I have some mobility issues. I won't go into it all, but I had complications from a hip replacement, and unfortunately, I'm not very mobile. But hopefully by then I will be a little more mobile to be able to travel far enough to join all of you there. We'd love to be in Cape Town in particular, and even in Johannesburg. We took our family there a couple of years ago, just before all the grandkids were born, and we had an amazing time in South Africa. So I hope to be there, and it's just nice to really reconnect with all of you, people who I still stay in touch with, and some whom I've lost touch with, but just nice to hear what's going on. I also just wanted to make a comment on, was it Jonathan Lewis, the doctor, who was speaking? So I just wanted to say how profound and the work he's doing is, and just his accomplishments and what he's doing for children with cancer and other people all over the world. So I was just very touched and moved by him. So thank you all, and I hope we will continue to connect, and I hope to see you in person as well. Thank you.
Sounds wonderful. Thanks, Michelle. I'm glad you came on.
Thank you.
I'm back. Have I missed anybody? I don't think so. Everyone has spoken? Great. Unmute yourself and let's chat again like we did earlier.
So I'd like to just say a couple of things. I appreciate all the shout out to me for the work being done about the reunion for both Linksfield and Victory Park. But I also want to mention incredible work that Minky and Shira and Paulette Davis and Michelle Gordon are doing, Michelle Barnett are doing. Without their help, we could never make the progress that we've been making. Minky found the person who found the hotel for us, and Shira and Paulette and Michelle have been inspirations to getting things done correctly. I'm about to sign a contract probably in the next 48 hours for the hotel and put down a deposit for all of us. And for those of you who are not aware, we did this for the 40th reunion. There is anonymous sponsorship being provided by people. And then there are recipients who can be in contact with Clive Chitters, who's from Linksfield. He did the exact same work for the 40th, and we had a number of people attend there who otherwise may not have had the opportunity to attend. And those who are privileged enough to contribute anonymously to those individuals just do so through Clive Chitters. If you need any information either on contributing or receiving, either reach out to Clive, or if you don't know Clive, just reach out to me. I'd be happy to connect you with Clive. There's about $10,000 that has already been collected. So that's meaningful money to get a handful of people along the way. And I'm sure others are going to contribute. And I know that there are a number of people who are talking to Clive, getting whatever they need to be, get from Clive.
Ron, thank you for your effort. Huge effort.
If it wasn't for Daron, I don't think anything would have got started.
Yeah.
Not.
Great job.
Yes, great job, Daron, and everyone.
So unmute, chat. And now everyone's quiet. How's that passport thing?
I'm going to leave. I'm losing battery on my iPad, so I'm not going to last very long. Great to see everybody, and I will be there in Cape Town. I booked my ticket yesterday. Bye.
I just want to make 2 comments. Firstly, about the tuck shop. The tuck shop is brand new, and it was a donation from one family who came long after you. They donated the entire tuck shop. And I also wanted to say that Jeffrey never said it, but he actually taught Latin full-time until he was 86. They stopped having Latin at Victory Park after we left, but fortunately they still have it at 1 or 2 schools. And he taught at St. Mary's in Waverley for 21 years after he retired from Victory Park.
Barbara, I just have to remind Jeffrey that when I was in Latin class with him, he promised that if we finished the syllabus, we would be taught Catullus. He would read Catullus to us. And at the end, we finished the syllabus in good time, and he refused. He said, "Are you crazy? I would never do that." So he still owes us.
I shall tell him. Anyway, we're going to say goodbye now and hopefully see most of you in March.
Would be great.
Hi, Barbara. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks for having us.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
And
See you
thanks,
guys in March.
thanks, Doron, for everything.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
And
Take
Jonathan,
care, everybody.
Good luck to
Jonathan,
everybody.
thank you for
Bye-bye.
speaking
Bye.
about George.
Bye.
Thank you for everything.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Thank you for coming on and taking the time. I appreciate it. Wishing everybody a wonderful day further.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.